unbelievable. But it didn't surprise Dr. De Silva.
Also know that the dolphins are a social animal that goes to the distress of other species such as humans. So perhaps they've alerted to danger and they want to alert us. Now, isn't there something very symbolic about this? Here we have the world's first truly international catastrophe, which not only cut across nations, but which cut across the species barrier.
Animals aren't really adapted to deal with a tsunami specifically, but because they have such good senses, they know it's coming long before we do.
Ready, Frank? Okay, come on, Bob.
Mike Whitehouse is a marine biologist who's been studying dolphins and sharks from the Caribbean to Australia for the past decade.
You can't really see a tsunami coming, but you can hear it coming from miles and miles and miles away. You can sense changes in pressure and water vibration.
Mike knows that dolphins have an extraordinary ability to receive signals from their environment. It may have helped them detect the tsunami before it arrived.
Well, in dolphins, they can actually create their own sounds. They send out little clicks that go out into the environment, they bounce off objects, and they come back to the dolphin. And then they can form an image in their mind of what's out there. It's a lot like we use sonar to send out pings and get information back. And so we're trying to actually mimic what these animals have been able to do for millions of years.
It's as if an early warning system is built into the dolphin's anatomy.
Bottlenose dolphins have the same basic senses that we do, but they use them in very different ways. Vision isn't quite as important, but sound and touch are absolutely critical for them. They can hear sounds through a little ear canal, but they can also have sounds come into their ear through their lower jaw, right here. Now, they don't just hear sounds in their environment, they also produce their own sounds. They can produce little clicks right here that go through this fatty melon, go out into the environment, hit objects, bounce off, then they come back in through the lower jaw and into the ear. They can use these sounds to actually create a visual picture of what's going on in their environment. Now, touch is also really important for them. They use it both socially and to feel water current flows. And so having all these amazing senses helps them when some natural disaster is around. They know something's up and they can get to safety.
Sharks are equally impressive. They have their own personal radar system. Special organs in the head detect even the smallest electrical currents created by swimming fish, giving the shark a direct roadmap to its prey. Human senses aren't nearly as sophisticated.
And so this is just a way that we have no way of sensing our environment, so it's completely different. It's not mythical, it's not magical, and it's strong science. This is proven. This is one of their major ways they sense the world around them.
Many believe this ability saves hundreds of sharks every year when hurricanes threaten the coastline of Florida.
Here in Florida, the biggest natural disaster we usually worry about is hurricanes. And if you're in close to shore and you're a marine animal, you could get killed by a hurricane. And scientists have found that sharks can actually tell these hurricanes are coming, probably by the change in pressure, and they can swim out of the shallow waters into safer deep areas long before the hurricane gets here.
Gathering hard facts about how sharks react during natural disasters is virtually impossible. But we know enough about how they sense the world around them to make some good guesses.
They aren't sitting around like we are thinking, oh boy, the pressure's dropping, there might be a hurricane coming. They instinctively know when the pressure drops very quickly, the water's going to get really rough in shallow waters, and they move out of those waters into deeper areas. It's another example of animals being very well adapted to the environments that they live in. They don't have to think about it, they just react.
But Chris Cruz is sure the dolphins did more than just react. They came to help. And this may not be the only example of animals saving humans during the tsunami. One little girl is convinced she's alive today because her newfound friend knew what to do when disaster struck. Southern Thailand is well known for its relaxed, exotic culture and gorgeous resorts. One of the tourist hotspots is Phuket Beach. Every year, thousands of people people come here to experience a little slice of tranquility. As London's dreary grey winter of 2004 dragged on, the Mason family decided Phuket Beach would be the perfect escape for a Christmas vacation. Little did Eddie, Samantha and young Amber Mason realise that their holiday would turn into a nightmare, and that a gentle giant would play a crucial role in the family's destiny. No sooner had they arrived at Phuket than Amber fell in love with a new friend.
Her name is Ning Nong. She's 4 years old. She loves bananas. She can crack coconuts by herself. She can dance. She is about that big.
Morning, December the 26th, 2004. At about the same time an earthquake ripped open the ocean floor, spawning the tsunami, 8-year-old Amber Mason was enjoying her favourite new pastime.
The day began. Get ready, go downstairs. She goes off on an elephant ride. I looked at her and said to her, do you think she'll be alright? Yeah, she'll be fine, she's done it every other day.
But today, of course, would be different. An hour's drive from Phuket Beach. At a camp a couple of 100 yards from the coast, a dozen elephants were being prepared for the day by their handlers, known locally as mahouts. The elephants here are a major tourist attraction. Once beasts of burden in the logging industry, they now carry visitors on tours through the nearby jungle. The morning of December the 26th, 2004 began like any other. One elephant was already out on the trail, carrying a family of Japanese tourists. Others were waiting for passengers, their legs chained to trees to keep them from wandering away. Then, suddenly, the elephants began to trumpet. They were terrified.
The elephants started acting very strangely. They were waving their heads, you know, and the bodies moving, they were moving the bodies around unusually.
As their calls of alarm grew louder, some snapped their chains, breaking free and charging away from the camp. The mahouts had never seen anything like it. When the elephants ignored their commands to stop, the mahouts could do nothing but chase after them. Did the elephants know the tsunami was coming?
It is quite feasible that the elephants sensed it from seismic vibrations, because on the soles of their feet, elephants have something called Pacinian corpuscles, a complex of nerves arranged like layers of an onion. These are sensitive seismic detectors that send signals to the brain, which the elephant can analyze, and he can sense that something strong and powerful is about to happen.
Back at Phuket Beach, the water remains calm as young Amber Mason leaves the hotel to find her new friend, Ning Nong.
I found the sea quite beautiful there. It was like a greeny blue.
But the peaceful scene was shattered in an instant. Eddie and Samantha were still in their room when the first wave hit, but Amber was already on the beach.
Literally, as we watched her go out of the building, a woman comes back running in. There's a tidal wave. Then we just dropped everything and ran onto the beach. I was screaming, where's the elephant, where's the elephant? I was frightened to death. I felt physically sick, and I can remember running along the beach. It was horrible. It was the worst feeling in the world.
The first tsunami wave rolled back into the ocean. The second, even more lethal wave was yet to come. The young elephant's survival skills shifted into high gear. Just like the animals in Yala National Park, Ning Nong began trumpeting, backed away from the surf, and then turned, fleeing up the beach. Amber, Ningnong and her mahout reached safe ground just before the second wave hit. The spot where the trio had been just moments before was pounded by a wall of water. Amber has no doubt what Ningnong did for her.
I felt Ningnong saved my life.
Once again, animal instinct meant the difference between life and death.
Well, we've seen some amazing stories of heroism and compassion. And that compassion was worldwide. It's incredible the way we all united to help the victims of the tsunami. But now that it's no longer headline news, we need to make sure that that help keeps coming so that people out here can rebuild their lives. I'm Lyndall Davies in Thailand for Animal Planet.